If you're thinking about volunteering abroad, especially with Workaway, please watch this video because here I'm going to tell you about my bad experience and also my conclusion, like how you can make your experience better. That's very important, I think. And I'm saying that it is one of the worst experiences in my life because I've been to a bunch of different youth exchange programs in the USA, UK. I did also volunteering in Amsterdam, like a year of volunteering, and I did a bunch of Erasmus programs. So I have this background to talk about it, and I am asking myself a lot of questions why that was so bad. But the questions we're going to answer exactly in this video. First of all, if you should go for Workaway or you should go for some other programs. That's really, really important, I think. And that second question is if you still decide to go to Workaway, so what mistakes you can avoid? Because I prepared some reflection here. And we are back to this slide because I want to show you this amazing picture. You see, I am very, very happy. I'm in this amazing swimming pool, and that was great time because this swimming pool was the only advantage of this project, my Workaway experience in France, in the south of France. But actually, I'm a liar. So that was the second reason to be there. It's hammock. I love hammocks. I love swings. So that was the great time. And yeah, talking about good things, let's come back to all the advantages of Workaway and why my husband and I, for example, we decided to go exactly for Workaway. Just a small thing, if you choose between Workaway, World Packers, and Helpix, those are pretty similar hubs to find projects all over the world and go like help someone. It can be an NGO, it can be a business, or it can be just a person who needs help. So talking about those advantages, let's talk about our reasons. Maybe you have the same set of reasons to go, so you will recognize yourself in this video. The first one, it was very, very personal for us. So this picture is not really clear, maybe. There is me, my husband. So we met during our volunteering project, and that's how we became an international couple. And I'm saying this because we love adventures. We love meeting people. We love something new, discovering places. So for us, it was like some kind of unusual vacation, and also, to entertain our life, to see something new. The second reason why we were going exactly for Workaway was its flexibility. I find it pretty flexible, and also variety of projects. When you go to the website, you see all those beautiful projects. You see that you can work in castles, you can work on the ocean, and it inspires you a lot, right? So you're all into it, and it inspired us, of course. Flexibility is about that you can really choose between dates. You can go for a week, you can go for several months, and you can also negotiate with your future host. That's an incredible part of it. That's what we did also. So we negotiated with our host that the first week will be only for my husband, second week we will be together, and third week it will be only me. You choose, you put your skill of negotiations all in, and you don't need to do the next step. You don't need to compete. So there is no competition. Like if we're talking about Erasmus projects, I often go for youth exchanges or stuff like that. You don't need to make any applications or any like video presentation or whatsoever, and that what makes it great. So you just talk to people, text them sometimes, and it looks very easy. And there is a fee. I don't know why I said that, because I feel like we are coming to the negative part of this program, right? So those are negative parts which just happened to us, and I'm going to say it how it was. So just to be clear, we went to a project in the south of France. We were looking for projects in Portugal, Spain, Italy, and France. Yeah, pretty, basic. So we found a host. It's a glamping. It's a Dutch glamping, and Dutch people run it. Dutch couple run this glamping, and it's kind of a fancy glamping. So like people who come over there, they come from the Netherlands, and those people are like lawyers and doctors and maybe a little bit famous in their fields and stuff like that. And that was our project. It was in the middle of nowhere. We knew that in the beginning, and I will come to this. But let's start from the first thing which hit me a lot. It's bad accommodation. On the description, it was written that we're going to have this caravan, or we're going to have a room in a guest house. And we said, yeah, let's go for it. We'll love that. We'll love those adventures. In fact, we were proposed a tent, so like a usual tent. And don't take me wrong, please. I love tents, and I spent, maybe I will even show you. I spent my childhood in tents because I was born in mountains, and I live in the mountains right now. I live in the Alps right now. For me, it's not a problem. It's just it feels very, very disrespectful, if you know what I mean, when you come to work in a particular place and they propose you just a tent. So that's me and my mom, and there are a lot of tents, and there was like mountains, and I'm like 1 year old. I don't know, very, very little, tiny girl living in tents. So no problem, no problem at all. But we come to the second point, which is overworking and hard work in general. I didn't expect that work can be that hard. I remember we were washing some like really, really heavy dishes. My back was dying. It was dead. I couldn't stand or walk. And those were like only 6 hours of work per day, but hard hours, you know? I felt so unfair over there. And the thing is that on our description of this project, it was mentioned that we are going to work 4-5 hours per day. In fact, we worked 6 hours per day. And I don't know how that happened. We were about to talk, to our hosts and to, like, I don't know, solve this issue somehow. But there were some other problems that brought us actually to leave this project in general. Yeah. All right. The third part, which was clear for us in the beginning, is about the place. So as I said, it was in the middle of nowhere. In our free time, we had absolutely nothing to do. Like swimming pool, hammock, maybe sometimes bicycles, but that's it. There were no youngsters like it usually happens in, I don't know, all my Erasmus experiences about that. My job in France is about that. Like I go there because I'm so happy to meet people, to have like parties with them and play games with them and do whatever, share our experience. There was nothing like that because it was just a fancy glamping, me, my husband, and adults, if I can say so. Well, so I'm bringing you already to the conclusion, but before I mentioned, because I know I mentioned it, I mentioned that we left the project. Why that happened, it was our family reason. So we had to go to a hospital to our family member in another region. So we finally could say no to this project and find a reason to leave. It was a bad case, and the guy who was actually running this glamping, I had some not nice moments with him, let's say, let's call it this way. So he was not a nice person, he was not a kind person, he was saying bad things. And yeah, but the woman was amazing. The his wife and his kids, they were amazing. Well, that was our experience, and now I want to bring you to the point. If you still think about Workaway, that was just my experience. Like, what is important to know? First of all, please set your goals. You need to understand why you're going, where you're going, what you're going to do over there. Um, how to set your goals? Example: if you go for blogging, like, you're a blogger or you want to run your blog and you're like, okay, I just want to do it because I want to talk about it or I want to like post pictures, then you choose a nice place. You know already that this project will bring you nice pictures and nice videos. Okay. If your goal is your passion, you have a hobby or maybe something, early career, you want to practice, then choose something you're going to practice with. And here you can see me with the camera. It's in Amsterdam. That's how I was exactly practicing my shooting skills, doing volunteering. And now it's a really nice line on my CV. And that where it should bring you. It should bring you somewhere. Yeah, especially if you're talking about your passion and practicing things. So you have a skill, you practice it. And that's your project should be about. And we had such projects actually, but we were not chosen. There were two candidates, two main candidates, us and um, some kind of a guy. So it was a photo project, like gallery, like a famous photographer from Provence. And we really wanted to work for his project. And the accommodation was great. Everything was great, but we were not chosen, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure our experience would be way better. Next reason, which can bring you to Workaway or something like that, is making friends. Like you just want to communicate with someone, you want some networking and whatever. Then you need to choose probably an association, and you know that there are already a lot of people you're going to meet, so maybe some events could be a nice idea. Also, your reason can be, I just want to be out of the city or out of my everyday life. Then you just look for a nice place out of the city, and you know. So your expectations matter, but if you feel like none of those go with your actual goals, just think about some other programs like fellowships, internships, some grants for your projects, or youth programs, or some other types of volunteering where, again, it will bring you somewhere. And my channel is all about opportunities abroad. If you're interested in those, don't forget to subscribe for sure and ring the bell. Yeah, then you have more notifications. And in any case, good luck with your experience. Choose well, and it's going to be great.